Good afternoon. Welcome to COVID-19 Day 4, Dynamic Stretch. I first want to take a minute to, I've been getting some really good feedback from folks in regards to the workouts, whatever, and I really want to thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and I'm really grateful. I am hoping that this provides a little bit of normalcy. When things are a little chaotic right now, very, very weird times we're living in right now. So hopefully, if we can do something on a regular basis that is something we're used to, something that makes us feel good, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever the case might be, if we can have that little bit of normalcy in our life, hopefully, it kind of makes all that other stuff, the things that are a little bit chaotic in our life, makes them a little bit easier to deal with. So. Stick with me, and we're gonna do just fine. We're gonna get through this together just fine. So we're gonna start with our legs. We're gonna do 6 different movements, each for 30 seconds apiece, and these are gonna be a series of repetitions. So we're gonna need something for balance when we do this, and later on in the warm-up, we're gonna need something comfortable to kneel on, yoga mat or otherwise. So if you need a second, go ahead and pause, get that stuff, and then come on back. So we'll begin with the legs here, 30 seconds apiece. So I'm going to be standing really tall on this right side. I'm going to do all 6 movements, 30 seconds apiece with the left leg, and then we'll turn it around and do the other side. All right, here we go. So first one, I'm simply just I'm going to pull a high knee position. I'm going to hit a high point, and then I'm going to pause, and I'm going to pull just a little bit higher, and I'm going to bring it down. And I'm going to pull up to that, that high point, pause, pull just a little bit higher. When we make that final pull, hit that high point, get a little bit higher, you're going to really feel that opposite side, that right side glute really turn on. So we want to get nice and tall and then pull just a touch higher. Let's do 2 more. Nice and tall, pull a little bit higher, and 1 more. Pull just a touch higher. There we go. Turn it out to the side. Pull it up nice and high. A little bit higher. Good. Pull that knee up, hit that high point, get it up. There you go. So what I like to do here is I like to have my hand across my torso. What it's going to do is it's going to give me a little bit of feedback so that I don't rotate those shoulders. I keep those shoulders pointed 90 degrees more or less from my leg here. All right, now we're going to come back. We're going to do flexion. So I want to stay nice and tall. I'm going to lift, pull just a little bit higher, lift, pull just a little bit higher, lift, pull just a little bit. Good, nice and tall. So we don't, when we're doing these, we don't want to be leaning back. If you find yourself leaning back, just don't lift your leg quite as high, all right? We want to stay nice and tall. Really think about keeping those hips right underneath those shoulders, okay? Next one, we're just going to push that leg out to the side here. I'm going to keep my toes pointed right at you, right at the camera. So if you ever see me doing anything wrong, you let me know, all right? I know you guys will correct me, call me out, so you see me doing it wrong, tell me. Let's do a couple more. Nice and tall on this right side. And when I make that final lift, I really feel that hip activate. Okay, now we're going to just turn that foot out to the side. Nice and tall. So I'm kind of hitting, in this case, about a halfway point. And see if I can get a little bit higher. It's freaking tough. Nice and strong. Let's do 1 more. Oh. All right. So from here, I'm going to be standing strong in this right leg. I'm going to bend my knee here. I'm going to push back a little bit. I'm going to hold this position. I'm going to kick and flex. And kick and flex. Kick. So I'm going to think really strong hamstring and glute in both positions. Just a slightly different contraction. But both tight, 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 and tight. Here again, a little bit of quad as well. And last one. Beautiful. Okay. Turn it around, other side. Staying strong on that left leg. Here we go. Bring that right leg up. Always, right? Shoulders down and back. I don't want to be in this position and this to happen. Pull the shoulders down and back, hit that high point. Good, pull nice and strong. Boom, a little bit higher, good. Get that knee up, a little bit higher. Boom, good. Another 10 seconds. Get it up. Beautiful. Keep it up. Hit that high point. One more. Keep those shoulders down and back. Pull hard. Good. Turn that foot out 90 degrees. Make sure we keep that torso and those shoulders, right? We don't want to turn those shoulders and that torso right now. So I'm thinking about, as I'm lifting my knee up, I'm also pulling back through that hip. Picking up, but also pulling back, trying to get that knee behind me. Trying to get that knee as far back as possible. Let's do one more. Beautiful. All right, straight leg, flexion. So again, I like to keep my hand on my hip right here. Kind of helps me maintain position. Doesn't allow me to, I'm not going to come forward. I can continue to push into my hip to maintain that vertical position. One more. Cool. Okay, we're going to do abduction. So we're just going to toe straight at you. We're going to come straight out to the side. Good, toes at you and lift. Trying to get on my left leg. Trying to stay as tall as I possibly can. As tall as I can. Pull. There you go. Good. Nice tall position. One more. Ooh, balance. All right, turn that foot out. One. Good. We're going to lift. Get a little bit more. So controlled. I don't want to just like swing my leg wildly through this. Even when I get tired, I still want to have complete control as I move through this. Let's hit one more. Oh, goodness. All right. So we're going to bend that knee. We're going to drive back. Strong hamstring contraction. Kick, squeeze, squeeze. Bend the leg. Drive that leg back, kick and squeeze. Drive it back, kick and squeeze. Good, you guys are killing it. Let's go. Get back, good. Big hamstring contraction when we do this. Big hamstring contraction. Good, one more. Fantastic. All right, so we're gonna move to the ground. We're gonna do some hip rotations from a sideline position. So as we sit up here, find a good spot. All right. So I have that bottom leg straight. I want to make sure my shoulders stay stacked on one another, the hips stay stacked. So I don't want this top side to be rolling back, right? So I can kind of ensure that by making sure my hands are lined up with one another. I can clasp or make fists, whichever I want to do. So from here, I'm going to lift my top leg as high as I can and then pull in as high as possible. So I want a lot of separation, and I want this knee up towards my shoulder as hard as I can. From here, we're simply going to be pivoting around the knee as much as we can and trying to keep the knee as high as possible. So this right here, this lower leg is going to be pivoting around as best as we can. So we're going to go for 30 seconds. Ready? And begin. So trying to pull that foot up as high as possible. Good, and then pull that knee back up, and that foot's going to go down. Good, rotating in place. Again, always trying to pull that knee up towards my shoulder as high as possible. Rotating around. Good, particularly on the down. This right there, yep. And then bring that back up. Let's do two more. Good, and one more. Driving that knee up, keep that knee up as high as possible. And relax. All right, other side. So again, keep my body stacked, shoulders, hips. Don't want to lean back, don't want to roll back. I'm going to lift this top leg up. We're going to bend this knee in. Again, pull this leg up as high as we can. And then drive drive that knee up. Ready? And pivoting around that foot, we're gonna pull that foot up this direction, and then pull that knee back up nice and high. And keep that knee as high as we can as we pivot. Good. Think about keeping tension in your body. Don't let that body go limp. Good. Let's do a few more. Pull that knee up nice and high. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Good. Keep it up. One more. Excellent. Cool. All right. So we're going to come to a seated position here. We're going to do these half bear sits and then full bear sits. So start with that left leg out straight. You're going to pull this right leg up and out as much as I possibly can. I'm going to turn my body down towards my left leg. So we're going to do 5 contractions for 5 seconds each. So here I'm thinking about driving this knee down, so we should feel a stretch into here. All right, ready? Create tension, arms out long, either make fist or clasp. Really tall position. Ready? And drive that knee down and hold. Drive it down, drive it down, drive it down, and relax. Ready? Create tension, sit up nice and tall. Drive down, drive that knee down, 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 and relax. And again, drive it down. Create tension, and relax. 2 more. Drive that knee down as hard as you can. Push, push, push that knee down, and relax. And 1 more. Push it down, push it down. Oh, hell yeah. All right, right leg straight, left leg pulled up just a little bit. Coming down that right side, arms out in front, fists, clasp, whichever you want to do. Create that tension in your upper body. Pull everything down nice and strong. Ready? Drive that knee down. 1, good. Ready? Drive that knee down as far as it'll go. As far as it'll go. 2, good. Drive that knee down nice and strong. 3, good. Here we go. Number 4. Drive that knee down. 5. Wait, was that 5? Now let's do 1 more. Drive that knee down. And relax. Okay. All right. We're going to double. So both pull knees. Ouch. All right. Here we go. Nice and tall. Ready? Nice long spine. Chest up. Ready? And go. Push them down. Push. And relax. Ready? Push those knees down and out. Nice and tall. And relax. Nice and tall. Push. And relax. Drive those knees down and out. Come on. Push. And relax. 2 more. Nice and tall. Push down. Good. 1 more. Push those knees down. Push it. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to finish up the lower body portion with a squat hold and then squats for repetitions. Now, for the squat hold portion, if squatting just isn't your jam, I'm going to have you do a wall sit. So feet about shoulder width apart. Feet are going to be flat, shins vertical, knees out like so. And then I'll have you then do just a chair squat for the squat portion. So simply, right, all I got to do, sit down in a chair, stand up. Sit down in a chair, stand up. We do it all day long, right? Okay. Everybody else, we're going to hold squat. We're going to hold a squat hold for 30 seconds, and then we're going to hit reps for 30 seconds. All right. So here we go. Ready? 30 seconds, and drop into that squat and hold position. So as we're holding position, we've got a bunch of different things we're thinking about. So we're making sure that, start with our feet, big toes, grind them into or grab into the ground, I should say. Activate those arches, okay? We're activating those arches. We're gonna be activating our glutes, driving our hips out, giving ourselves some space so we can sit down a little bit. We're gonna pick that chest up and pull those shoulders down and back. We're nice and strong in that position. We're gonna do reps in 3, 2, 1, and go. So the reps doesn't have to be like crazy fast. We just want to get some quality repetitions in. Just moving through a good range of motion, all the way down, all the way up. All the way down, all the way up, 15 seconds. Quality reps. 5 seconds. 2, 1, Beautiful. Okay, let's move the upper body. So first thing that we're gonna do, real simple, we usually do this with a tube where the elbows are going into the side right here and essentially gonna be out at forearm length away from the body. So, drive my elbows in for 30 seconds. I wanna pull those shoulders down and back. I wanna make sure that the arm stays really tight, squeezes to the body, all right? So for 30 seconds, make fists, and we're simply just gonna rotate out. All right, so from the side, making sure, again, the upper arm stays pinned to the side and glued into the side. And then from there, we're pivoting off those elbows, just pulling like hell, pulling those arms away from one another. We go 10 seconds. Keep pulling those arms apart. Keep those elbows and those upper arms glued to the side. And good. Okay, we're gonna do a forearm scapular push-up. This could be done on chair. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get down on our forearms, and we're simply just going to be pushing away and then collapsing, and pushing away and collapsing. We go 30 seconds. So I start out in a strong plank position right here, and we'll begin. So we'll collapse down and then push away, and collapse down and push away. So the whole body will be moving up and down, okay? So I'm not just gonna be shrugging or anything like that. I want the whole body to allow the shoulder blades to fall in on one another and then push away as much as you can. So we collapse and then really round out that upper back. Collapse, round out that upper back. Collapse, round it out, and one more, collapse, and round it out. Good. All right, next, scapular dips. Everybody's using a chair for this one. So, and anytime you're using a chair, make sure, it's braced against something, just so we don't slipping out from you. So 30 seconds, what we'll do here is, I want to make sure that I really pull my shoulders down and back, squeeze everything, arms stay straight. I simply am going to essentially shrug and then press, and shrug and then press. So it's a very short range of motion. You don't want to overdo it. Keep the arm straight, and we're just going to go up and down for 30 seconds. Ready? So I'm going to push really strong, as hard as I can up, and then I'll drop as deep as my shoulders will allow me. And then I'll press and hold, pushing as hard as we can, and then dropping. All the while, we're continuing to pull the shoulder blades together, okay? Pull the shoulder blades together. Don't allow those shoulders to round forward, okay? Good, continue to pull the shoulder blades back. Don't allow the shoulders to round forward. Push nice and strong through the top. Arms stay straight. Let's do a few more. Good, nice and tall. Kind of got a little forward on that one. Good, let's do 2 more. Good, keep those shoulder blades pulled together and relax. Cool, all right. So we're gonna do a tabletop. We can do it with or without legs extended. We can do it with or without a rock. So this can also be done from the chair position, excuse me. So if we do it from the chair position here, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna raise your hips up, and then if you want, nice and gentle, you're gonna rock yourself back and forth. So with that tabletop, we're thinking about knees, hips, and shoulders are in a flat, table position, all right? So if we do it without, time check. If we do it without the table, so here's our tabletop position, or we can go with the legs out straight, and then from there, we can just nice and gentle, we can just rock back and forth off those heels, or if we were in this tabletop position, I could get more of a rock. The closer that I bring my hands together underneath, then the bigger the stretch that I'm going to get in my chest and my shoulders. So if you haven't gotten into position, please do so, and we're just going to continue with this rocking motion. I want to make sure that those fingers are pointed backwards, and we are going to push that chest. We're really going to open up that chest as much as we can Open up the chest and the shoulders. Really try to feel that nice big stretch as we rock ourselves back and forth. About another 5 seconds. Continue to lift your hips and relax. Cool. Okay, final part is going to be 3 movements, each for 30 seconds each. We're going to do a static inchworm, then downward dog for repetitions, and then shoulder taps. So real quick, I'll just demonstrate what each of those are going to look like. So that's the static inchworm, and then the downward dog for repetitions. We'll just hold the plank, and then hold the downward dog for, I don't know, a second or two. And then finally, we're going to do shoulder taps. 30 seconds apiece. If any of that is like super difficult for you, we can just hold the plank position for whichever one isn't going to work for you. Or if the inchworm doesn't work for you, you can just go right to downward dog and do downward dog for a minute. So just kind of see what works for you, and either just static plank or just go right to downward dog if the inchworm's not going to work. All right, here we go. 30 seconds apiece. And so the static inchworm, and begin. So in that plank position, and then I just walk my hands to my feet, walk to plank. Hands to feet, plank. Just keep moving back and forth at a nice pace. 15 seconds. Okay, so now we're going to go to plank to downward dog. 30 seconds. Hold that plank position for a second. Push back into downward dog. So when I do these, for me, like I feel like my calves are super tight. So I need to spend a little extra time working on my calves, trying to get those bad boys loosened up. All right, so now we're going to move to shoulder taps. So right hand to left shoulder and left hand to right shoulder. If you need to transition to a chair for this one, do so, okay? If you find like, oh, I'm not strong enough to do this on the ground, then transition and put your hands on a chair. Now remember, as I pick up one hand, if I pick up the right hand, I push the right hip down. As I pick up the left hand, I push the left hip down and work myself through this position. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, and done. Excellent job. Yeah, I'll be back at you in just a minute with your workout for the day, but hell of a job, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye.